Good morning and welcome, mortgage coaches. Today is our normal Q&A Thursday call, and you have myself, Tina Bradford, and my lovely co-host,
Star Johnson,
as your national trainers for today's call. As always, we want to first do a little house cleaning. We want to make sure that you can see and hear us. Also, we do this because we want to know a little bit more about you. So if you can put some information in that little question box for us, let us know where you're located in the U.S., what company you're with, and how many total cost analysis have you completed up to this point. So those three things. Thank you, Michael in Denver. What company are you with and how many total cost analysis have you made? We have another Fairway. And he's giving me one at a time. Anyone else want to share today? Jonathan, welcome, Jonathan. How many total cost analysis have you built? Beautiful. He's up to 7. So 10 is that magic number. We always say that 10 makes you really comfortable. So anyone else want to share? Are we all going to be quiet today? I'm going to look and see who's on our attendance, looking for a couple of our every week people.
We have Brad from Cherry Creek Mortgage. Welcome.
So welcome, Brad. Anyone else today want to share? Brad, how many total cost analysis have you built?
8 to 12.
8 to 10 or 12 for Michael. So when you let us know how many total cost analysis, and if you don't want to have your name out there, you just want to drop in a number on total cost analysis, this helps us know how fast or how slow we need to go when we are going through. So Brad is kicking it because he has an assistant. Mm-hmm. So do you have a name? That's the question. We'll call you by name, not by Brad.
And here's a cool person that is in on the line today. I believe it's Deirdre. I knew a girl by the name of Deirdre. So yeah. Deirdre, how many presentations have you created, and how comfortable are you with leveraging Mortgage Coach? Let us know right there in the webinar control panel, Deirdre.
We're gonna start calling out names. We're gonna really get you guys involved today. So welcome, Travis.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and move forward. As always, this call is about you. So if you came here to have an answer, something that you have that you're working on, that you need help with, a strategy that you've seen that you want to see how to implement it, anything at all doing with Mortgage Coach, from one gamut to the other, let us know in that question box what it is that you have come here and you need help with.
We really try to open this call up as a Q&A session. We know you're out there in the field and working with Mortgage Coach and leveraging it. If there's any instances that you run across an issue, we definitely want to do our best to address those on the call. If you're having the issue, 9 times out of 10, someone else is having the issue. If you have a question, 9 times out of 10, someone will have that same question. So we really like to open it up and tailor it to our learners versus just coming with another training for you. So that's the whole point of the Q&A session that we're trying to expand to all of you today.
Okay, so we have a couple dropping in, and that's perfect, but I also want to add something new to the mix, something we've never done before. If you have had a success in this last couple of weeks using Mortgage Coach, whether it was how your clients perceived a video or anything, and you would like to share, we would love to be able to see your successes. So if you do have a success that you want to share with us, you can raise your hand right now. Raise your hand, and we can even unmute your mic. And we can let you share with us what it is that your success was for the week before we start off. Star's reading our little suggestions, so we have a bunch of suggestions in there.
So Lisa Peters, just to let you know, there was a call that we have. Are you with Caliber, Lisa Peters?
Yeah.
Oh, she's with Caliber. Okay. So there's a call that we have done for Caliber, and what we can do is forward you the call, because on this call we don't show any integrations, but we are well versed with the H2O. It is an amazing internal proprietary for your organization, but we can definitely send you that little snippet and show you how easy it is to do your fee template. Oh, perfect. Okay, that is what Lisa needs. I will send that to you, Lisa. Let me just write your name down and I'll look for you, and I'll get that to you right after today's session. And I'll send you that recording because we go over how to use your integration and loop in, oh, Peter's group. Okay, I'll get that down for you and then I'll send that to you. Perfect. All right, I will send that to you, and you
Beautiful.
can.
And I love the fact you talk third person, because I am totally a third person person. I will always say, well, Tina thinks. So let's see. We do have another one. Jonathan. Input the current loan data, but P&I computation was not consistent with mortgage statement. Okay, the reason why this might happen is because if that person has been late on a payment, or if they have made extra payments during the loan scenario when they've had the loan, it is not going to match with the bank statement. So if you get a scenario like that, and I'm just going to go into one of these and show you where you're going to enter that information.
And why Tina's looking for that. Hi, Frank from Home Street Bank.
Hi, Frank. Frank is here every week for us.
He is.
So if you have the scenario and when you put in your information, it does not match here, you can always overwrite it. So let's say they've actually made a couple of extra payments and it's $197,568. I can now put that amount in. It will leave that payment amount down here for the total payment when you do that override. So you're not changing the actual payment down here, but you are changing the remaining balance. So that is the way that you would fix that. Any other questions, concerns? You're welcome, Jonathan.
Good stuff.
Good stuff always. Okay, let's go ahead and drop in a poll then, since we have no one else asking. And anytime you think of something while we are in the process of doing something, drop it in that question box, raise your hand. We will be sure to get to you. So let's launch our poll. So on here, is there a strategy that you would like to see? So Kenneth asked a great question. He would like a good email or script to send to realtors on using the rent to own and or move up buyer strategy. So we all know in this market, the move up buyer strategy has become very strong. And just so you know, voting, I don't close the poll until I'm at 70%. So if you have not voted, please get it out there and let us know what it is you want to look at for today. So, and I'm only at about 38%. So I will start playing the Jeopardy music and Star will become annoyed with me. So we don't want that today. So if you guys can just please vote so Star doesn't have to roll her eyes at me, I would totally appreciate it.
Oh gosh.
I'm telling your secrets.
Just blast me out. I do give her that dirty look. I really do, behind the scenes, just to let you guys know.
She doesn't like my Jeopardy music. So if I can get a couple more voting, we're at 63%. So a couple more of those, we would totally appreciate it. Great. Okay, let me go ahead and close the poll. And because I'm going to share those results with you, because your question, Kenneth, is on that move up strategy, and that is what is chosen for today, we'll answer your question as we go through the presentation. So let's go ahead and hide those results and let's move into a move up strategy. So let's first pull over the phone because we always like to show you what it is we're doing on the phone first. And let me do a quick search. And I'll show you when I do my search because I have a little secret in my search engine. Let me go back one. So I'm going to go to where it says search on my phone. Click on search. And now you can see I actually have little asterisks in front of each of these. These are all just market pieces. So by marking them previously, I can go down to where I have my move up buyer and I know what presentation that is.
While Tina is getting that together for you all, I have a question for you. How many of you that are on the line today actually have the Mortgage Coach mobile app downloaded on your smart device? By a show of hands, there is a hand icon in the GoToMeeting control panel. So raise your hand so we'll know if you actually have the app downloaded, because to use it, you have to have your apps downloaded and they're free.
And why would I want to download the app? Well, let me tell you why. I would want to download this app because the majority of people out in the market, what is in their hand all the time? They're at dinner. What's in your hand when you're at dinner?
My cell phone.
Oh, your cell phone, huh? What's in your hand when you're on the train?
My cell phone.
Oh, your cell phone. So Star is the average American. We all have our cell phone in our hand. Not only that, but there's also research that was done that says if you do send an email, 65% of the time, that email is opened up on your
cell phone.
Beautiful. So cell phone is the answer of the day.
Yes.
So make sure that you do have it downloaded on your cell phone for yourself. The question that Kenneth asked was how to approach realtors. First of all, definitely have it on your cell phone. So by having it on your cell phone, you're able to meet a realtor at Subway standing in line. And this is a true story. I really did meet a realtor standing in line at Subway.
Were you eating fresh?
I was always eating fresh. You know me, I'm a pescatarian. I only eat fish and seafood, so I'm always eating fresh. So when I was there in line, if I had this program and I could have pulled it out and just shown her the move up strategy here, this is such a great tool to be able to volunteer. Yes, I said the V word. Volunteer. That means you're not being paid for it, but you could be if you do it right. To do the marketing for a realtor on past clients. You want to be able to reach out to those clients that have closed their loan 5 to 7 years ago. They haven't refinanced. They might be looking to go up into a bigger home. They might have kids now, new job, they can afford more, lifestyle is a little different. So those are the people that you really want to be hitting with this move up buyer. And until you have a realtor that you see or that sees your presentation, they don't even know, a lot of them, what this presentation is about.
And think about this. For those customers who qualify for FHA or down payment assistance, obviously they don't have that much money to put down. So buying the home may not be their dream home. It may just be a starter. So that's something to look at too when you're doing your business, and make sure that you're putting that in your back pocket to reach out to your past book of business.
That's true. And not only those people that are just now buying in for the first time, divorcees. I'm a divorcee. I'm out there looking for a new home right now. And I know I'm not going to buy my dream home. I am buying in a condo, basic of the line, but I'm going to buy back into the market. But I'm back in that situation because of a divorce.
Well, you have to start somewhere, right?
I do. And I want to build equity. I'm tired of paying my landlord's mortgage.
It's time to tap into that home ownership, Tina.
Thanks, Star. You want to help me out? You want to build me an analysis?
Yes. I'll send it right after this call.
Beautiful. So what we are looking at on the screen is current loan, which you can see right here. I'm going to clear it out so I can show you guys as I move along. So we have the current loan. You can see right here that property value is $350. So that is the property value. And Frank is the only lender on this call that volunteered to be my lender. So just to let you know, thank you, Frank, for stepping in to take my business.
All right. High five.
Then you have the move up to 400, 450, but I will say I know quite a few lenders out there now. And 500. And then what if they do refinance? We have that refinance scenario in there as well, because sometimes they're thinking maybe we'll refinance, have a lower payment, be able to have more money to go out and play with or take money out to pay down debt. So I put that scenario in as well. So when you're going through here, it is super easy. All you're going to be doing is copying that initial loan, and then you're going to add to it, put the current interest rate, so you can show the clients how to use the equity. There's a couple of little spots in there that you want to make sure you drop that amount that they're able to use towards that purchase for your cash to close. And then they're able to move up and have a very similar payment. And you can see my payments amounts are already, fat fingering it, already in there. So we can see how it's going to be able to work with the clients to move them up into that bigger, brighter new home.
Yes, and this example here is in increments of 50,000. So what would 50,000 do? Maybe it's an extra bathroom, maybe it's extra bedroom, maybe it's that home office. So what are the potentials and the possibilities for that customer? What can that extra 50,000 really get them?
Absolutely. And then basically it's very similar in all the rest of the areas. The payment breakdowns, you can see I did not include property tax and hazard insurance. The reason why I did not in this scenario is because I am using it as a marketing piece whenever I choose to do my marketing pieces, because I live in sunny Southern California and I am right in the middle of Orange County, LA County, and the Inland Valley. Property taxes and hazard insurance vary in that area. So I could be able to display this to anyone in that area, and the property tax and hazard insurance are not placed in there.
And this is a good way just to show the customer the variables just between P&I payments as well.
That's true. Now we have our closing cost details. And then we have, if we did our reinvestment, which we don't have in this scenario, but maybe I throw that reinvestment strategy. Actually, I did. I threw it in. I'm so good. Look at me. I put that $200 extra. That is part of the savings here. I put that back here, and let's see, did I add that extra money down here in a savings account? Yep, I put the rest of it in an investment account. So I'm showing my clients how to build wealth. So that is the basics. I'm going to go ahead and pull my phone over, and I'm going to let Star build for you today. So we're going to throw in that new client. I feel like I've been talking a lot. We're going to let Star talk a little bit. So Starlet, take it away.
And I just gave you that stink eye.
You know, the eye rolling? Just got it.
So we're going to say today our customer, remember, Mortgage Coach is very intelligent. We only ask you the information that is needed to produce a valid total cost analysis. Now, let's just say Tina had her marketing piece where she was able to prep her scenario and do her thing. Now she threw me out there under the bus, and I'm not prepared. So this is the same thing for you. Just take little bits and pieces of data and roll with it and build a total cost analysis. I'm going to complete the minimum fields to show you how quick it would be.
So why Star starts building? Just to give you a little insight on Star. Star is our prep girl. She loves to be prepped for everything. So by me throwing her under the bus, I'm getting her accustomed to going along. I'm the laid back one. I'm the one that takes it as it comes. So there's definitely positives with both of us.
Yes. So you can see here within the client field, the only required area here is just the first name. The first name is the only thing that's required. I'm going to put D for the last name here. And you can see everything else is optional. So if you want to add a phone number, you can. There's a question here. Is Frank my client or prospect? We're going to say Frank is my client. Does he rent or does he own? So we're doing a move up. So he owns a particular property.
Now, Starlet, if they wanted to do this as a marketing piece and not have a name in there so they can use it for their realtors, how would they do that?
Great question, Tina. So at the top, you would notice every time you are working with a new client or family, you're going to work in the client area. And as soon as you click on client, it's going to automatically by default select individual. But if you want to do a marketing piece like my lovely friend here, you would move the radio dial to marketing. And you do not have to put a first name. You would just have to put your headline titles. Like for us, move up buyer or move to your dream home or something that's catchy for your audience.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Now here that I've completed all the required areas, now I can move over to the goal. So I'm going to jump over to the goal. You also can move to the arrows, arrowing right or arrowing to the left to save data. So you can arrow forward or jump ahead. Now, because this is a scenario, I can do a multitude of things. I can show the customer how to buy another property. I can do a refinance option, just like Tina mentioned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select other as the goal. You could leave it blank or you could select other, but I want to draw in that current mortgage.
So this would be a great product to use if you are doing that annual mortgage review. This is that number one product because you can show them how to tap into equity and you can have that refinance and show them how much money they would be able to even pull out if they wanted to do a cash out refi.
Perfect. So now let's advance forward and enter in the current mortgage details. So just like Tina showed you on the mobile device, you would now need to insert the current property value for that home.
So how much should we use today? Does anyone have input? Anyone want us to use a certain dollar amount that would be in your market?
Up $450,000. So the current value here is $450,000. That's all that is required. I am now able to advance forward and move ahead. Now, this is the information where Tina was mentioning. So depending on your customer, they bought 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever the case may be, you would need to insert the first payment date. So I'm going to use 01/01/2010. Now you can see here that the original loan amount shows $450,000. That is not the original loan amount. This is the current value. So now we need to determine what the original loan amount was. So if you're looking at a credit report, you have the old deed of trust, whatever the case may be, this is where you're going to disclose that information. So what should our loan amount be, Tina?
Let's see, 10 years ago, let's do about 420.
That's all?
Yeah, that's it. 420.
Wow.
Come on, they're in Pasadena, right, Frank?
They don't have that much available.
Well, that's okay. Oh, no, because they pay 10 years. So now you have 10 years down. Oh, it is 7.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you 410. We'll give you an extra 10,000 to play with.
How about 405?
Wouldn't it be nice if we could really negotiate our equity in our home like that?
Okay, so the original loan amount was $405,000, and let's say the interest rate 7 years ago was 5.25.
Just 5.
All right. Now here the month, the term in months. So we'll say it was a 30-year mortgage, 360 months. And here is their remaining balance.
But you know what? I had aggressive people, and we like paying off our mortgage a little early. We feel that the money applied to our mortgage is the best interest, although as loan officers, we know we could teach them with that reinvestment strategy how to build wealth faster, but they paid extra payments.
Okay, so what would the remaining balance be?
So let's say the remaining balance is $326,972.
Really?
$326,972.
Okay.
$326,972.
Comes out the air with that number. Okay, so here is our remaining balance. Now, one thing that I want to show you here is in the event your customer says it's a no-go right now for this move up buyer presentation, and maybe they want to look at it another 60 days from now, 90 days from now, you have the ability to check this box which says auto update balance. So when you go to access this particular presentation 60 days from now, 90 days from now, 6 months from now, the system will automatically calculate where the customer should be. Now it's a fixed product here, no interest only months, no balloon payments, and here is my P&I payment. So if I advance forward, This is where I can insert the monthly cost information for the current property if this is what I choose to do. Now, let's just say, for example, the customer is paying $105 for the hazard insurance, and for the property taxes, it's roughly about $330. Other is used for, let's say, flood, earthquake, and if there's any MI associated. Solar.
Everyone has solar now here.
Solar panels. Okay, so anything else for as mortgage insurance, you would insert that information, but I'm going to bypass the mortgage insurance. So we're going to use 105 and 330. When you advance forward, this is where you would move into the affordability. Now here, there's no rent indicators, which means this is an area you can bypass. But if you wanted to show your customers a deeper financial picture for as a tax benefit, this is where you would insert the tax bracket information related to your borrower. So if Frank D doesn't know which tax bracket he falls in, you can select Find Tax Bracket as a lending professional, and all you need is 3 pieces of information: the annual gross income, the filing status, and tax year.
I heard Frank's a high roller, so I'm going to say his tax bracket's 33%.
33%? All right, Frank. So we're going to advance forward, and here is the second screen within affordability. Now, this is another screen that you can bypass, but this is more tailored to your customer. So what's comfortable for your customer, high and low, and also what is the price range factor, high and low. Cash out desired is tailored to a refinance, and we are doing more of a purchase strategy. So now let's advance forward. Now here, this is where we want to compare some different products from the current mortgage and do that move up option. So here is what you would need to name your product. So whenever you're naming your product, try to stay within 12 characters or less when you're naming your product. So in the event you are wanting to print out the presentation, your particular product names will stay within the margin. So I'm just going to put that buy now option. That's what I'm going to name it. Buy now.
Well, we're doing different dollar amounts. Maybe we should put 50,000 and put 500K.
We're going to do 500K?
Yeah.
All right, let's do 500K. So in this event here, what we want to do is we want to kind of freak out the system because we want to also include the available that they have from the equity.
So this is a quick trick she's going to show you on how to figure out how much equity is in that home right now.
Yeah, I like tricks. So, so here, what I'm going to do is to do this trick or to do this mechanism, you have to answer this question. So is this a refinance? Is this a refinance? Yes or no? I want to say yes, so I can bring in the property value and you can see the equity, and then I want to say no, right?
So where might you place that equity so you can remember how much equity is in there?
You can put it in your notepad or write it on this little piece of paper I have, Tina. So your equity position is 123,028. So that's your equity position. But we all know when you're buying one home, right? When you're buying one home if you're selling one home and buying another, even though this is your gross amount, 123,28, that does not mean it's your net, because we have to pay the buying and selling agent. There are escrow fees that are required. So it may not be this. It may be a third. And sometimes what happens if the customer's getting all this money and they don't want to put all that money down?
True.
They want a vacation. They want to do some cosmetics. So you really have to have that conversation with your particular customer. But what I also can do to get some of the data for as the hazard and tax information, I can copy from that current mortgage and do a little bit of tailoring. So I'm going to copy from the current mortgage. And you can see here that I have the purchase price and the down payment information, right? And then I have my new base loan amount. And I can tell the system, is it a purchase or refinance? Yes. And then I can select no. So I have my down payment information again. Remember, this is that crazy number Tina just gave us, the base the base loan amount of $326,972. But in this situation, what I want to do is a little bit of editing because we want to show our customer if they move up in a $50,000 increment. So I can add $500,000 to as the purchase price here. And then the down payment maybe it will not be 123. So maybe let's say 90,000.
Let's just do 20%.
20%?
Yeah.
We can. But what happens if they want vacation?
Well, they'll have money. Look at 20%. They should be good. They still have, let's say, $13,000 for closing. They'll have that extra money in there.
I need shoes for vacation, and I want to upgrade my new home.
We don't want to play MI. Okay. We're going to save money anyways.
Fine. So no MI on the home, the new home, since I can't get what I want. So you can see here, my down payment is $100,000. My base is $400,000, but maybe I can do a little bit better for my customer. So we're going to take the customer from a 5% interest rate and move them down to, let's say, 4%. 4%. So 4% here. The term will still be 360 months, and it's a fixed product that we're offering the customer. So now that we have all of our information that's required, we are now safely able to advance forward by arrowing to the right. Now, this is where you're going to insert your closing costs. Now, as a lending professional, you have a couple of options. You can group all your APR costs and non-APR costs, but we highly suggest that you don't do that. Best practices in the mobile device, when Tina was showing you the closing costs, at the bottom, there's a fee detail button. You want to stay as transparent as possible, giving your customers every opportunity to know exactly where the closing costs and fees are being allocated throughout the transaction. So to stay as transparent as possible, this is where you would access your closing cost details, whether you're working off a fee sheet and adding each line item from that fee sheet, or if you've taken it up a notch and you've created your particular fee templates, you can now draw from those fee templates. So we're going to draw from Tina's 30-year fix.
I don't think there's much. Oh, I guess there is much.
There's a lot of fees in there. Actually, what I'm going to do is I notice that the tax reserves.
You pulled them in when you did the copy.
No, but this right here is, I have not selected any reserves on the monthly cost. So this is one great thing I want to show you. So when you create your particular fee templates, it's really up to you. So right here, Tina has hazard insurance, a premium, and also tax reserves. There's a couple of ways that you can do it when you are creating your fees. You can add your fees in your product and your fee templates if you like, but on the next screen, there is a monthly cost where you can also draw for those reserves. You only can do one or the other because you don't want to do both and you will double dip the customer. So I'm going to remove here and show you how to bring in those reserves. So now that I've created or selected my fee template, I now want to apply those fees to the loan. But one of the things that I want to add before I do is take the proceeds of just $100,000.
113.
113.
We gotta cover closing cost.
Only $100,000. And you're going to put it in as a negative number. So that way it's going to come from the bar from that sale of that home. So we're going to use $113,000.
And just so you know, this is a custom fee. I have added proceeds already to my closing cost detail sheets. Once you add it one time, it will remain in your system. So I added it through that custom fee.
And let's show you how that's done. So if I remove this here, if you want to add a custom fee, all you have to do is select add custom fee and you name it. And I'll do sales proceeds. So I'll do a little bit different. So here's my sales proceeds. But one of the things you want to do is check this box where it says default prepaid. And the reason why you do this is because you do not want your proceeds to be what I want to say. You don't
want it to interfere with the short-term savings area of your analysis, so
right.
You'll leave it out of there.
You don't want to affect the logic. So in the short-term savings, so you want to make sure you make it as a default prepay. Tina gets me all nervous. Okay, so when you're done, you select OK. And now you can see you have that custom fee. So if you ever wanted to add another fee, you don't have to add another sales proceeds custom fee. Once you add a fee, it will always be in your drop down indicator. And if we scroll down, we should see sales. Here it is, my sales proceeds. So that's how that works. So again, let's add this as a negative number. So we're going to say it's now $113,000 that the customer will allot to this transaction. Make sure anything that you want to add as a credit, you put a negative in front of the number. Now, when you're done, you can now apply those fees to your loan. And now you can see our APR and non-APR costs have been, you don't have any non-APR costs.
No, I don't.
Let's add an appraisal.
Just uncheck something. The appraisal's in there. It's just checked.
Oh, it's just checked.
Yeah. It's a different state.
There you go. So we're going to apply to loan. And now we have our APR and non-APR costs vetted out. We can see our prepaids of that contribution the customer is going to add. If there's any prepaid days of interest, you can add that information. If there's any related points to your transaction, you can add that information as well. And any applicable earnest money. When you're done, you can advance forward. Now, by copying from the current mortgage, you can see that it drew in the monthly cost. So I'm going to leave the same hazard and property taxes. It will be a little bit different based on your scenario, but I'm going to leave these factors here. Now, in the monthly cost, this is where you want to draw in your reserves. So if you leave your reserves in your fee template, you will not be able to draw your reserves here because in essence, you're going to double dip the customer. So we're going to add 2 months for hazard reserves with a 12-month premium along with 4 months for property taxes. But these numbers will also change depending on when your loan closes. So right here, if we advance forward, you can see before we add in our monthly costs that there is a comparable of the current mortgage and on the buy-up option.
See, you're going to have $300 for new shoes each month.
Yeah.
Not enough?
So if we want to do maybe another comparison of $550K, you definitely can do that in $50,000 increments, and you can use that copy from feature. So if you're using that copy from feature, you can copy from the current or you can copy from that recently created option of $500K. And when you use that copy from feature, it will bring in a lot of your details. The only thing you need to do is a little bit of editing, which would be the purchase price. So let's do the purchase price of $550K. Now you can see that movement for the adjustments. If we advance forward, our closing cost also copies over nicely for us along with our monthly costs. Now, when you are leveraging Mortgage Coach, you can compare up to 4 products simultaneously against a current mortgage. So if I wanted to build 4 products against the current Essence 5, I have the ability to do so. But I believe that these 2 are good. We can roll with these 2. So now let's advance forward. Here is our analysis summary. So the analysis summary is more of an emotional point of what you are really trying to drive home within your presentation for your customer based on their financial goals. So you as a lending professional can determine buying a home in this area. Tina said she's in between LA County, Inland Valley, and Orange County. So depending on that location, you can determine what the property appreciation rate is. You can move the needle here, or you can override the data. So we'll just say 4%. The short-term analysis, you can move the needle depending on your customer's goals, and you will see the information change below accordingly in the short-term analysis goals. But 60 months mimics the closing disclosure and the loan estimate. Long-term is defaulted at 15 years, but again, you can change those particular parameters. And Tina says there's a study when it comes to selling your home. So tell everyone your study research.
So there is now information out there that tells you 10 is the optimal number. And the reason why is because 10 is the new 7. It used to be 7 years before a family sold or refied. And now that number has moved up to 10 because we scared everyone with 2008, and we need to calm everyone down and get them selling back in 7 years again. We need this market a little hotter. We need more homes out there.
Now you can see your monthly binge savings. You can see here that is defaulted to the highest cost product, which is the current. That's why there's no graph above the current. And also the short term, you can always move the needle and change your perspective here as well. The long term, you can always show your customer a view from total principal paid, total net worth, or total interest and MI. I think we could show total net worth. I think that's a good one.
Absolutely. We want to show them that they're building wealth.
If you advance forward, it takes you to your contact area. This is another screen that you can bypass. So the affordability you can bypass, and also the contact area you can bypass. If you don't have an address, you can put TBD, or you can disclose the full property address. The mailing address is never shown. If we advance forward, we will see this is an area where you need to select your presentation. It's defaulted on total cost based on our answers that we put in the client area. We tell the customer, we set to the system that the customer owns. So if the customers own, you will see a total cost analysis presentation. If you select the answer if the customer rents, you will see a rent versus own presentation. Now here's our 3 products current, the 500K move up or move up to 550. In the event you do not want to see one of these particular presentations, you can uncheck the box and it will be excluded from your final presentation. But always try to show the customer a minimum of 2. If there's not 2 and only 1, there's nothing to compare. Here's your payment notes below. Everywhere there's 2 asterisks, your customers will see your payment notes and not your tandem internal notes. So taxes and insurance are included in the payment, so I'll clean that up because they're going to send this over to Tina. So, so now I'm going to advance forward. Here is my monthly savings again with some sidebar text that you can add or omit.
Now, if you have already set it up in the analysis area and you've gone through here, you're quite happy with the way everything looks, you can skip this part as well.
You can. So instead of driving through, you can go all the way to presentation and select preview. Now here is the total cost analysis setup. Always make sure this box is checked. Notify me, the lending professional, every time your report is reviewed. Now, when it's a marketing piece, I know Tina feels a certain kind of way about this. She will uncheck this box when it's a marketing piece.
And the reason why is I don't know who's looking at the piece, and I don't want to get all these emails or alerts telling me someone looked at a marketing piece and I don't even know who it is.
So it depends on your preference.
It totally depends on your preference. Don't mark it.
Mark it anyway. So here I'm going, and remember this is bar specific. So I have a specific customer, so I want to know each time Frank D reviews the presentation. So there is a quote date. Anytime you're quoting rates, always protect yourself with a quote date. So protect yourself and your organization. The quote date is shown on the final presentation. Now let's generate the link. So we went from client all the way to presentation. This is where you would generate your link in the total cost analysis setup screen. Now here is where you will, when you click generate link, you can copy and paste this link and put it in an email. Or if you're working on a window-based computer, you can hit share and the embedded link will be, the dynamic link will be embedded in the body of the email. Now, this is an option for you if you're doing a marketing piece and it is prohibited within your organization to share social media, but please check that procedure.
Stay in compliance.
Stay in compliance. This is where if you have that generic piece, you could share either Facebook or Twitter. And next is shares where you would add audio and video. So how many of you, by the raise of hands, we're going to lower these hands right now. How many of you are currently adding audio and video to your particular presentations? Video is definitely an intricate part of solidifying your value proposition. So
Kenneth raised his hand. Yay, Kenneth.
Go ahead, Kenneth.
That's my daddy's name. Michael. Good job. Anyone else? So if you are not adding video, tell me why down in the question box, and I'll tell you why you should be. So if you're not adding video, tell me why you're not adding video and why we're waiting for you to respond. She can move on and go over to that link.
Yes. So here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to select add audio and video, and I'm going to show you right at the bottom. When you select add audio and video, your final presentation will then display for you. Now here, before you send your video to your customers, you have the ability to highlight, grab some charts, whatever you feel is favorable that you want to bring your customers' attention. You can also highlight the purchase price. Remember, this is the actual value for the current, but the purchase price of the move up presentation. You can also highlight the rate. You can highlight an entire column by selecting in the product name. And you can see here below, there's a clear all feature. So if you want to clear all highlights, you have the ability to do that. If you're clicking in a singular cell, you click once to highlight, a second time to unhighlight. So what's important to your customers? I think the rate's always important.
Rate in
the payment.
The purchase price on this, because that's what we're focused on, is moving up.
And the purchase price. So that's always important to a customer. And I can definitely tell you, you will know if you added your proceeds properly to your loan, because this will be well over $100,000. So there is a little bit
to close.
Yeah, there's a little bit of overage because Tina's charging you all for those fees and her loan origination fee. So there's a little bit extra fees that you have to pay. But if you did not add those proceeds, the customer will say, why do I have to pay $119,000? So this is where you can explain it to your customer. And behind the summary and more info, in the closing costs tab, there's that fee detail button because we itemize those fees, but you can see here the prepaids. So you can see the prepaids right here. And you can drill down for those fees as well and your customer.
Beautiful. So is there any questions on the total cost analysis? Do you guys need us to explain windows? I'm sure by this point, if you've been doing them for a little while, you know what the monthly payments, the savings over 60-month long-term and short-term savings are. Now, what we are going to talk about is recording that message. I only got one response, and Michael would like to learn. So I think, Michael, after we teach you, you should record one for us and send it over to training@mortgagecoach.com. And Star and I will take a look at it and we'll give you feedback. So we'll help you out. Anyone else on the call who would like us to analyze their video, give them feedback, send it over to training@mortgagecoach.com and we can help you out. But why would you want to add video? It is simply because when you are adding video, you are separating yourself from everyone else in the market. So that is Star. Doesn't she look lovely today? Look at that. She has some highlights going on her cheeks there and everything. So when you're adding video, you're separating yourself from the market. So when you separate yourself from the market, when people see this, they're able to relate with you. I know when I was doing loans, the majority of my clients, I never even met. I would email, I would talk to them on the phone. So there was not that same connection that now, if I was to do it, I would be recording a video for every single one. Because A, I'm cute, so who doesn't want to see me? And B, because it's going to help them relate to me more, because now I'm doing video and I'm personalizing it for them. I'm making my clients feel special.
So there's a couple of ways that you can add video depending if you like the quality resolution. And why is your screen so huge?
Because we wanted to see all of you.
Okay, so you can definitely see the different quality. So you can see me here on screen. I'm using a browser. So if you have a camera built into your desktop and or your laptop, you can definitely hit record message and you can start delivering your message in the browser. But if you like the mobile is so flexible. You can move around anywhere in your office, right? I'm moving around. You want to make sure your background is clutter free. So we do have a handout here for you where it shows you best practices. What are some of the things that you should ask your customers? Some best practices for some of the things that you need to say to your customers. Call them by name. If you have a referred source, make sure you cross reference that referred source as well. And make sure your video stays within 1 to 2 minutes. So you can definitely see the resolution. I do have some lighting here.
And there is a little delay in ours. We have a ton of stuff connected to our computers here, which causes the delay. Yours should not have a delay.
Right. And it might sound like a little lip, like a when you lip sync movie, something like that. So I just wanted to show you the quality of adding video. So if you're doing the browser here, or if you're using your mobile, and if you notice on the browser, if for some reason you are not comfortable with getting on camera, it is totally okay. You also have the option to record audio only. So she caught me over there. But when you want to add a video to your cell phone, you can hit the record button right here in the middle, and you will see that there's a counter right at the top. So this helps you with staying focused and making sure your video stays within 1 to 2 minutes. So we have about 10 seconds of content. You'll hit the record button once more, and you can either retake or use. So we'll say use. And when you use it, you can see here it's cropping my video. So just give it a couple of seconds, and now you have the ability to send that video right off to your customers. So I hope I have inspired you all to add a video to your presentation, Michael and also Jonathan.
So Kenneth asked directly, how can I use this in order to use it for realtors? Well, in this case, what I personally think is a good practice is if you are initially marketing to realtors, then you need to focus on doing the open house presentation. You can do this strategy in an open house presentation. And that is definitely something that you would want to do. And the reason why, and I'm going to go back over, we're going to pull this off really quick. The reason why I would use that open house presentation is because it is co-branded. So none of these are what I need. So we're going to do a view all, and I'm going to show you really quick how to copy a presentation I already have for someone in my system. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to use Eric. Eric actually is someone I graduated high school with. And I'm going to copy the analysis. And I'm going to keep the current partner. So I'm not going to have to put all of Eric's stuff back in there, and click on OK. So now you'll see all of Eric's information comes over. We're going to make a pretend house. I'm not going to go search a house out. First thing you want to do, friendly name, is the house address. And we have the old address in here. We're going to change it to that new address now. Moving over, changing any of the information in here needed. But what we're going to focus on doing is once we have all this information, we're now going to do this as a move-up buyer. So you would put current here, and you would put a current loan situation. And what you're showing them is if they do have someone looking at homes that is thinking they're looking at homes just to see what's out there, then they might look at this and go, hey, that's my scenario. This is where I'm at. So they're able to consider doing it this way. And we know it was 123,000 here. Whoops, not million. I'm in Southern California. And so all this information you would already have on here. So now when you go over and you do the next products, and I'm not going to adjust everything, I just want to give you the basics. When you do the next products, now you're able to do that adjustment of moving up. So we went from 4 to 450K. I'm going to copy it from that initial loan. So where it says current, clicking on OK. And now I have that information in for the current. All I need to do is make that single adjustment to the price. So after I've done a few of these and I have one more, let's change that VA over as well to 500. Then I'm going to now send over a message to whoever it is I'm trying to work with. So whichever realtor or referral source that I want to work with, I'm already using a property that is theirs. And so I'm going to send over the information to them and say, here's an idea for you. And just give them a little insert on what's going on. Whoops, we need to increase that price. We're not going to find anything but a trailer home for $50,000 here in Southern California. Nothing wrong with the trailer home. If you live in a trailer home, it's all good.
They're called manufactured homes.
Oh, manufactured homes. A trailer park.
Oh, gosh.
Star's rolling her eyes at me again. I'm from Kansas. In Kansas, we lived in trailer parks. Well, I didn't, but other people did. And it's okay. Tornadoes would come whip them away. So once you have already covered that, a totally open mouth insert foot, you are able to see now in the presentation, and we're just going to go over to that presentation preview. Generate that link. It's okay, Star. You still love me. And the add audio video. So now you can see here the information that I'm displaying. I am showing a move up strategy while showing the home that the client or the realtor is currently looking at. So when you do this, another thing that you can do is if you are using just the initial total cost analysis and it is in compliance with your company, post it on Facebook, post it, all over, and let people know. You might have a large amount of money in your current home that you would like to move up into a larger home. Know where your dual market is. Know which area is selling quickly and what price line is not moving as much. That is the move up buyer scenario I would build. For Southern California here, I know anything over $1 million is not moving and anything under $1 million is. So I'm going to do a presentation for, let's say, $800,000. That is their current home value. Then I'm going to do 900, $1 million, and $1.1 million. That would be the presentation I would want to display on my social media if I was marketing in this area, because those were my ideal clients. I was the jumbo market girl. And Frank wanted me to know that in Pacific Palisades, there is a mobile home park, and the homes there are 1.5 million, so I can move up into there. Frank, are you buying me the place? That's what I want to know. So that is the strategy. I am definitely, marketing is one of my favorite things to do. I think that as a loan officer, most loan officers undermarket yourself, because unless people know you in the area that you live in, you're not doing a good job. So people should be able to recognize you when you go in the grocery store or when you're in Subway. They should be able to recognize and know who you are, because you should have yourself out there in the market. Not only should you be throwing this information on your social media if it's allowed, you should also be out there doing volunteer things. You should be having a volunteer booth. Have an iPad with this strategy on here, so you can show people and you can use that time frame. And Frank's going to buy me the place.
Nice, Frank.
Me and Frank are becoming friends. So you can go in and you can really market to the people within your community by knowing and understanding the community and your price points.
And this is a great way for all of you to share at a first-time homebuyer seminar, and also any type of workshops that your company or just you are part of. So there's ways that you can demonstrate live reporting and featuring here with these type of products as well. So it's definitely a showstopper when you're out there in the market showing your value proposition. Because at the end of the day, not everyone is a mortgage coach loan officer. So why not differentiate yourself with your competitors?
Wait, they're all mortgage coach loan officer, but not everyone is a mortgage analysis.
That's true.
As mortgage coach, you guys are analysis. You guys are educators. You're not just an LO pushing numbers like the majority are. I mean, that's how I was taught when I went into the business, to focus on interest rate, when we know in reality, if you're not staying in the home very long, interest rate might not be the factor. The factor might be, how much money am I initially putting down? How long am I keeping the house? Do I have MI? That might be the initial factor, so that interest rate doesn't even come into play. So we do have a question. Did you save the video on this?
I did save the video, but I wanted to bring up the phone because I wanted to show people that there is a share option on your cell phone and there's a share option on the browser. So if you see the browser, there's a share button at the bottom. You can click the share option and you can have a second opportunity to email to your customers. And here on the phone at the top right, you'll see that there is a share icon. Looks like a folder with an arrow going through it. That is the share icon for iPhone users. And for the Android users, it's a a V with a 3-dot connector. That is your share icon as well. But you can share right there at Subway or in the field with the kids at a basketball game and share with your neighbor right there on their cell phone or email.
Beautiful. We should get money from Subway today. They should give us free lunch. So we did have the question from Kenneth. Where can I access the video to review at a later time? So because she did save that video, if I go back into video now, I can watch this video. You see at the top it says play current video. If I push on play current video, that video comes up for me. So on the iPhone, up there in that top is the done button. I am also able to replace it, re-record, and re-upload a video, or click done. Now, if you are doing a marketing piece and you have a video that you recorded, you absolutely love, 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 love it, and it's saved onto your phone, you have that ability to upload from your own phone a video that you have in your album. And I'll show you where that's located. If I click on album, pictures will come up here. More likely, you'll find silly pictures of me. This is my normal training room, so you'll find pictures of me where I was just playing as I was bored. But when you are going into the phone, this little icon here, clicking on there, you want to finish this? I have a tickle in my throat.
Okay, well, we were having a little adjustment here. Right here, this is the button where you would want to prompt your album. So when you select, I'll just go right back and show you. When you're in your actual dashboard, to the right, there is a secondary silhouette. So the icon here, when you click to the top right, this is where you would see the log out option, and you want to make sure that this box or this little radio dial is on green. So off to prompt your album, and on to prompt your albums for your video in your phone. So if you have those videos that you're just taking a little recording of, this is where you will prompt that video.
Okay, and that is all we have for today. We do want to ask, as always, if there is any other questions that you have or anything else we can cover. We're a little over the hour, so I do apologize if you don't feel that extra 4 minutes was worth it. Star's not loving my terminology today. Thank you, Michael.
Let us know. And also, do we have one more poll?
We do. You want to drop in the how is our training poll?
Yeah.
I knew you would.
We always like to know if we are meeting your particular needs. And I'm definitely going to launch a poll here. And if you would just answer the poll and give us your honest feedback, because it helps us here as trainers. It also helps with management, and it also helps with you as learners too, to make sure that we are really targeting your needs. Because at the end of the day, you are our customers. So definitely let us know.
And yes, the re-recording of the video is fabulous. If you are in the market and out in the field and you have a processor call you saying, hey, I need the last paycheck stub, because we know paycheck stubs are never up to date. I need that last paycheck stub from my client, from your client. Can you reach out to that client? Record a video that just says, you know what, we're getting ready to close your loan, but it is urgent, because you can display that urgency a little bit more on video. it is urgent that we can go in and get that last payment stub. Fax it or send it over to me, give them the information, and then send that video over to them by just sending a text saying, hey, look at the presentation. Always give them the presentation link again, just in case, so they don't have to search for it. We know we don't like to search for it. And then they'll see that urgency to get those docs over to you.
Sounds good. Well, thank you everyone for voting. It really helps us on our end, and we really do appreciate your time and every effort that you are giving to us as trainers. We really do appreciate that. I don't have anything else. That's all from me.
Yeah.
Tina?
And just in case you don't know, we do have help here all the time. Keyword search, very simply, put in the keyword that you want to search. We also have our calendar available. I do want to plug one new training that we have going on. This is where is it at? It's my Friday call. Insane Productivity. It is a mastermind call with Dave, our CEO, and Todd Brookspan is going to be on this week. We have now opened up our Mortgage Coach Insane Productivity Mastermind to all our Mortgage Coach people. What is this? Let me tell you what it is. This is a great place to go in. You can actually interact with everyone else on the call. If you raise your hand, they'll open the mic. They're in there sharing ideas on how they're increasing their production. So it is a beautiful call that if you are at a spot where you're stagnant, I know as mortgage lenders, we go up and down. It gives you that extra motivation because it shows you what everyone else in the market is doing in order to increase their business.
Absolutely.
So that's it for today. We do appreciate your time, and we hope that you have a productive week.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.